have Hodge with Board Game Geek here with Ted from Bezier Games, and we get to look at Silver Dagger. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the third expansion for Silver, because you go like kind of like an A, B, C, D, right?
That is totally it. It's the fourth game or the third expansion, however you want to do the math. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a standalone game as well?
Yeah, totally standalone. It's follows the exact same basic rules as Silver, but now you have totally new roles, and so every card has different powers than it was before.
Wow, that's amazing. So for those unfamiliar with Silver, can you kind of give us a little overview on like how this came to be and like what are the main mechanics and stuff like that?
Sure. So basic idea, if anyone's ever played the public domain game Golf, the idea there is it's a deck of regular deck of cards, and you have a bunch of face down cards. You're trying to reduce your score, have as low of a score as possible, and you do that by usually exchanging low value cards for your high value cards, even though you might not know what those high value cards are when they're in front of you face down. And then in some variations of the golf game, you can get rid of pairs or sets of cards that match, and you're reducing the number of cards you have as well as otherwise. And so Silver uses that basic premise, but it takes it a step further by giving each card a special power. The low number cards have special powers when they're face up in front of you. So maybe you've drawn them from the discard pile when they were face up, or they've turned them over with some other special card. And the higher number cards, you can use their special power when you draw them from the deck. If you decide not to keep the card because it's a high number, you probably don't want it, you flip it over, use its special power, and hopefully that will allow you to have the lowest score possible. And in Silver, you play 4 rounds. At the end of the 4 rounds, whoever has the lowest score wins.
Excellent. And so with Silver Dagger, is there any new mechanics that's added?
Yeah, so Silver Dagger, so each of the Silver games has kind of a theme or some special kind of hook to it that's a little different. So in Silver Amulet, you had a little silver amulet that gave you the power to protect a card, so nobody else could mess with one of your cards. Silver Bullet allowed you to destroy a card. That way, if someone gave you a large value card, if you had a large value card, you wanted to get rid of it, you could use the bullet on that. Silver Coin allowed you to flip one of your cards over, because I said before, some of those cards give you really, really cool abilities when they're face up in front of you. So you could flip up one of your cards, or possibly flip down someone else's card that's giving them some special ability. Silver Dagger gives you an ability that at first may not seem that awesome, but once you play the game, you realize, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. It lets you change direction of play. So normally you're going clockwise, as most games, but you can use the Silver Dagger to actually change it and go reverse. And there's some special cards inside Silver Dagger that have to do with ordering. So they affect the player who went right before you, for instance. And so being able to modify the order of play can be really, really valuable.
Cool. And so does this play with 2 players okay then? Because I wonder about that reverse turn order in a 2-player game.
2, 3, or 4
okay.
Plays really, really well. It plays differently because the cards will do different things. So for instance, there's a card in Silver Dagger called the Reverser, which in a 3 or 4-player game changes the orders. Of course, in a 2-player game, there really is no player order. It's just back and forth, kind of going clockwise thing. You could say you do, but it really wouldn't make any difference, of course. But with 2 players, that same card that normally changes order skips the other player. So it kind of does that sort of thing. But overall, the game still works mostly the same way, which is really nice.
Okay, cool. So I don't know if you want to explain anything more about the details on how to play, or if you just kind of want to jump into a demonstration.
I think we could just jump in right away and play, and people can see kind of what the cards do and kind of the flow of the game. That's probably the easiest way to describe it, is just by watching it being played.
Excellent. So we have Nikki demonstrating with their hands. There we go. And so if you're the cards right in front of us, what would you do first?
So, okay, let's say it's my turn. I'm going first. My choices are I can either take a card from the deck, or I can take that face-up 5, which is in the discard pile. You always start with 1 card in the discard pile. So 5 is not a great card. It's okay. The thing that I'm going to do before we even start, though, is I'm going to secretly look at the 2 cards on the left. So if just close your eyes, Steph, so you don't see the cards, please. And then Nikki, go ahead, show the 2 cards to the bottom, the center of the screen there. Yeah, show those to the camera so I can see what they are. Okay, and then put it back face down after you show it. That's great. Okay. So put those two face down, and they're face down. So Steph, you can open your eyes. All right, excellent. So I know what those cards are. You don't. Haha. And I can decide now, well, maybe I do want to trade that 5 in for something else, because part of it is, if I make a pair of something, I can reduce the number of cards in front of me. But in this case, I'm not going to. So I'll take a card from the draw pile. So Nick, if you can take the card there. Steph, close your eyes real quick. This is going to be a lot of fun having Stephanie close her eyes. All right. Oh, all right. We're just playing 2-player, right?
Yeah.
Steph, you can talk,
Sure.
you just can't see.
Okay.
There's a slight difference there, I know. So I'm going to play this card. So you can open your eyes now. And I'm going to play this card. Instead of taking it, because it's a high value card, it's that reverser I was talking about earlier. So the nice thing about the reverser is, again, it skips the other player. And since there's 2 players and Stephanie's the only other player, I'm just going to play this card and get to go again. So go ahead, put that in the discard pile. And then Steph, close your eyes again. And Nikki, please draw another card from the draw pile. If we draw a bunch of these in a row, this is a best demo ever, because Steph will just have her eyes closed. Okay, you can open your eyes again, because I'm going to play this card in the discard pile too. So this is a 12. This has a really cool special ability. This has the ability to let me peek at any one card and then trade it between any 2 villages. Villages are just the sets of cards that are there. So you can, Nikki, go ahead and put the Master Thief in the discard pile. And I know what those first 2 cards that I picked are. So they might be good, they might be bad. I'm going to peek. I already know what they are, so let's not even do this. I'm going to peek at one of my own cards and trade it with one of yours. So Steph, are you're playing on the left there?
Sure.
So actually, you know what? Let me pick. Well, I'm gonna peek at one of Steph's cards. So let me peek at the one at the bottom of the screen. That's whatever ones are Steph's cards.
Whatever
so Steph,
is closest.
I don't know if you. Yeah, just pick whichever side.
Yeah, that's good. I can't look at my own card, right?
You cannot look at it because you have not seen that card yet. So go ahead and show me the card. All right, that one. Woohoo! I like that one. Okay, put it back face down so Steph can't see it. And Steph, you can open your eyes.
You like that one.
This is like the close your eyes, open your eyes game. Like Simon says, almost, but better. And I'm going to give you the second card from the left. So not the leftmost card, but the second card. So just trade that card that I just saw with my second card. That one, yes, exactly. And keep it face down. Steph can't see it. It's a winner. Just put that back and Steph, yep, right there. So I just traded. Now I saw what card I got there. I liked the one that from you, and I gave you one that maybe I didn't like as much. Okay.
Now,
so that was my very, very long turn.
If you just got a card that gave you a match, could you have discarded them?
Not yet. No. If I had gotten one that was a match, I would hold on to it, and then next turn when I drew, I could get rid of any matched cards that I had.
When you drew.
So if I had, for instance, if I had a 12 already, then I might have decided not to use this power and kept it, got rid of another card, and then next turn when I drew a card, I could have gotten rid of those 2 12s and had fewer cards.
Okay, cool.
All right. So it is now your turn. So what you should have done at the beginning here
is look at
you could look at any 2 of your cards. Just don't look at the one that I just gave you, because then that would kind of be weird.
Yeah,
but,
from
I'll
my
close
line.
my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll close my eyes, and then you go ahead and look at 2 cards.
No, Nikki, that's his line. You have to go to my line. I think over here. Yeah, and so not that card, but any other 2 is fine. Yep, perfect. Oh boy.
So you got to remember what those cards are.
All right. So put that first one in the farthest. I don't know where you got them from, so just so I know. Okay, put that one somewhere so I know where it is, and then yep. And then, yep, either way. And then the other one. Okay, perfect. So now I draw a card, right, Ted?
Or you could take the discard. So for instance, if maybe one of your cards was 12, you could take that 12 and discard something else, because then you'd have matching 12s. And that would be a good thing.
So let's not do that.
Okay. So you're going to draw a card, so I'll close my eyes again so you can look at your card.
Yep. So we draw a card. And I get to look at that. And I think I'm going to use it for its action.
Okay, so I will open my eyes. Oh, you got one of those too. Now I have to ask really the integrity of Nikki shuffling the cards, because we've seen 11, 12, 12. So what's going on there?
I believe she has all the zeros coming up next.
All right. Okay. All right, I guess that's okay.
she did a good job. She did a good job.
All right.
And
So then you can
so-
do the same thing I did, which is you can look at anyone's card, even one of yours you haven't seen yet, or one you have seen, and trade it with someone else's. In this case, just one of mine. So
Okay,
whatever
I'll
you'd
look
like
at
to
my middle. I'll look at my middle card.
do. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna close my eyes.
Yep. Okay, cool. It's now gone, so you can look, and I can either
then-
change that with something or
Yeah, you have to, because you looked at it.
Have to.
Basically the power of the card is you have to look at something, but then you have to trade it with a card from another village. So
all right. So I'll trade it with that middle card. I'll trade with the rightmost bottom row card. Yep.
Okay.
And hopefully, it's amazing.
Yeah. Good luck with that. All right,
Oh.
it is my turn again. I do not want that 12. So Stephanie, close your eyes, and Nikki, show me the top draw card, please. Okay. I'm going to take that. We'll talk about this one a little later. So go ahead and put that face down and exchange it for my middle card.
Ooh, the middle card. I should have gone for the middle card.
And then you can open your eyes, Steph. Oh, okay. So that's
Oh, it
sad.
was
So I didn't know that third
two.
one was a good card. That's a really good card. That's a halfling, and if you have that face up in your village at the end of the round, you'll basically multiply your score times 1/2, rounded up, sorry. And so that's a very, very nice card to have. So if you take it, because it's face up in this card pile, it'll stay face up in your village, and then you'll be able to apply that at the end if it stays there. If nothing else happens to it before the end of the round.
Wow, that seems really good. Are you done?
Yeah. I mean,
I want that.
This is.
I
I
want
am done with
that
my
too.
turn. So yeah.
I want that too. And you can take away the right there where your card, it's almost touching it. The second from up. The second one up. Sure. Yep. That works.
Yep.
Yeah. Either of them. Cool.
And then that goes in this
How'd I do?
pile. Great. Okay.
Yes.
So one thing I didn't mention before, it's a weird little rule, but because we didn't go through all the rules beforehand. If you happen to have a 4, there's zombies in this game, and the
Oh my
number 4
goodness.
card is a zombie. It's an orange card. If you happen to try to discard a zombie, it won't work because you can't get rid of zombies. Zombies are really hard to get rid of, just like in real life. They're super cute and kind of fun, but they are really hard to get rid of. They can never be placed on top of the discard pile. So if you're going to get rid of them, you have to either give them to another player or put them on the discard pile, either under another card or somehow use some other mechanism to get rid of them. So you just can't normally discard them. If you try to, they bounce right back into your village, and whatever you're trying to take instead goes into the discard pile. So sometimes when you're kind of just getting rid of face down cards, you might run into that, which would be unfortunate.
Oh, those pesky zombies.
Yes. Also, if you draw a zombie from the draw pile, you must keep it. You can't just turn it over and discard it because, again, you can't put a zombie on the discard pile. I know, but that's how zombies work. The good news is, if you have a face-up zombie in your village, you can skip your turn, not draw a card, and just take that zombie and give it to the player who just went right before you. So in case it's a 2-player game, that's going to be it. And unlike most times when you exchange cards where, I'd give you a card while I would take a card back, just like we did with the Master Thief, we kind of traded cards. The zombie is just an additional card. So you get a bonus card, which in this game is bad because remember, the goal is to get your score as low as possible and have as few cards as possible. So nobody likes
And
zombies when they're...
You can never get rid of it, even if you have a double zombie?
No, not even with the double zombie. The way you could get rid of it in this game is there's a card called the Approximator. It's number 5.
Oh.
If you play the number 5 card, that was the one that was on the discard at the very beginning. So at the bottom of the discard pile, Nikki, if you want to look at that. That one allows you to trade in any 2 cards of different values. So you could get rid of the zombie by playing another card with a zombie that's lower, like a 4 and a 3. Like if you put a 3 on top, that'd be fine. But as long as the zombie is not the top card. The way silver works, when you discard cards that aren't the same value, the lower card is always on top. So it would have to be a 0, 1, 2, or 3 that you'd get rid of in addition to your zombie. But that's a way to get rid of zombies, is with the Approximator. The other silver games, because you combine these silver games with all their different powers, they have other things that you can get rid of. One of them is the goth girl from Silver Coin. No, from wow, it's I get my games confused at this point. I think Silver
It
Bullet,
all
right, Silver
mixes
Bullet, goth
together.
girl. I know. She lets you discard to the bottom of the deck, to the bottom of the discard deck. So if you had a goth girl face up, you could get rid of a zombie by putting him on the bottom of the discard pile. So different cards will give you certain abilities to get past things.
In the same train of thought, there was a question. Hey Ted, I'm from California. Can you put all silver games together and play everything at once?
You can. So we've tried a bunch of different ways to combine games. What found the best way to do it, the way that you'll probably have the most fun, is replacing one number from one deck with that number from another deck. So for instance, if you didn't like the 7, so we have the 7 here in Silver Dagger, you want to use the 7 from a different game from like Silver Coin, you can just take out the 7s here, put in all the 7s from Silver Coin, and it's going to work great. Their functionality is very, very similar along with the numbers. A lot of the 7s let you view cards. So it's going to be a different way of viewing things. Instead of viewing cards the way this card does, you would view them in a different way. That's the best thing. If you combine them all, it becomes really chaotic because you don't know what cards you're going to get, what the powers are. And so even if you know the game really well, we've done a lot of play testing internally, and we found that it's just, while it works technically, I think it's probably more frustrating than anything else. It feels just kind of like the luck of the draw, and there's a lot less strategy and a lot less interesting things you're going to do because you're like, oh, well, I have this now and no one else does, and it's kind of weird. Yeah,
that all makes sense.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit of time. I want to see how this kind of plays out, if we want to maybe have a advanced kind of ending here to this little play out.
So one thing we can do to end the round, whenever you have less than 5 cards in front of you, you can call for a vote, which basically means you skip your turn. You say, I'm calling for a vote. You don't do anything that turn. And then the other player gets one more turn. And then we reveal our cards and see who has the lowest sum. But we can play through real quick since we've got another 10 minutes or so. We could just zip through a bunch of cards here, this process. If that works, I think it is my turn.
I think so.
Okay. All right. So if you want to close your eyes, and Nikki, if you could draw another card for me, please. All right, awesome. You can open your eyes, Steph. So I'm going to play this card. This is Flipper. Flipper is a super fun card. A lot of the number 6 cards and all the silvers let you turn cards over one at a time. What Flipper does, so Flipper is kind of cool. We like the art on here. It does all sorts of fun things. So of course, he's a fast food kind of burger flipper as well as a dolphin.
That's so funny.
Because it's weird. Like, do dolphins eat meat? Probably. Well, I guess they do, right? I mean, they're carnivores, right? They don't eat like seaweed and stuff. I have no idea, but I'm assuming they do. They probably have some sort of burger. So that's like maybe crab patties. So from Mr. Krabs. So anyway, the point is what Flipper does. He allows you to turn over all the cards in a village. So I could turn all the cards in your village over, which means if I did that, I would turn your divided by 2 face down, and I would turn everything else face up. That's kind of dangerous, though. I don't think I want to do that because you may have a zombie there, and if you have a face-up zombie, you could give it to me. So I know I have a face-up zombie, and I also have another really, really good card that has good power face-up. So I got to turn my village face-up. So go ahead and turn my cards face-up, please. So
wow.
1, there's a 0, 4, there's my zombie that I saw earlier.
Oh my God.
All right. So now, because I have face-up cards, all those low cards, the 1, the 0, and the 4 have special abilities when they're face-up in my village. The 1, the spy, lets me, anytime on my turn, I can look at one of your cards. So that's its power, is it lets you look at any opponent's card. You can secretly look at it, even if the opponent hasn't seen their own card. So I'll do that while we have this open. It's still my turn. So why don't you show me like one of the cards that Stephanie's already seen, so she doesn't have to close her eyes. Nikki, just pick one.
The far 2 cards. Far 2 cards, yeah.
The top.
I've seen those too.
Okay, it's a 13. Okay, and then you could just turn it back over.
Yeah. Guess what you're getting?
The next card that's face up for me is a 0, and 0 is really cool. That's the debt collector, and he's going to give you. Wow, he's invisible on this. That's amazing. That's really cool. That's the purple screen instead of green screen, I guess, because he's a purple dinosaur. Wow. The way he works is that if he's face up at the end of the round, you get -1 point for every card in every other village. So if you have all 5 cards there, I would get -5 added to my score at the end because if he's face up with me, which is pretty cool. So let's put him back. And then the next one, of course, is a zombie, which we already talked about. Now, my turn, I've already used my turn, so I can't do it on this turn. If next turn I still have that zombie face up, I can skip my turn entirely and just give you that zombie, which is likely what I'm going to do unless you find a way around it. So that is the end of my turn.
Excellent. So I'm going to draw a card. Yes.
I start close. Sorry.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I guess I'll play it.
Okay. Oh, another. Well, that's good. That's awesome, actually.
Well, I know what you have now, so that's not so bad.
Yeah, you can look at any one of your cards. Even if you already know what it is, you can secretly look at one of your cards and then trade it for one of mine. And so the good ones that I have, the really good ones, are the 0 and the 4. The 4 you're going to get anyway. But if you take it from me when it's face up, you'll be able to use a turn in the future to give it to me and give me an extra card. So that's probably the better choice at this point.
No. I'm going to take that 13 and take your 0.
Wow. All right. Now 13 stays face down for me because, yeah, the cards only flip if you have something like flipper or take it from this card pile.
I'm so rude.
Okay. That's mean. He is a very cute dinosaur, though.
Yes.
All right. Well, you know what? Then on my turn, I'm just going to give that zombie over to Steph. So just go ahead, pick the zombie up, put it at the end of her stack of cards there at the bottom. And now
are you going to call for a vote?
I could call for a vote, yes. Although I'm not going to because that debt collector of yours probably, and along with the halfling, you probably have a lower total than me.
Okay, we have just a few minutes, so.
All right.
I guess I draw a card. Are you done?
Yep. I'll close my eyes, let you draw a card.
Sure. I will take it and place it in place of one of the face down ones, Nikki. All right, you can look. Yeah, that works right there. So that, yep, right in there. Okay. And I cannot call for a vote because I need to have fewer than.
You need to have 4 or fewer, and that's all you can do on your turn. I don't get that one. That actually just gets discarded because that was.
I don't think that. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. All right. So I could let you know. Let me call for a vote since we're almost out of time. We'll just see what happens here. I probably lose, but that's fine. If I'm correct, if I do have the lowest score between the two of us, I would get 0 points on this round. If I'm wrong, I get my sum of my cards plus 10, and then I'm sad also in addition to that. So we'll reveal our cards. Before we reveal the cards, Nikki, if you could just slide the face-up cards up a little bit so we know which ones were face-up before we revealed all the cards, because some of them have the scoring powers like the halfling and the debt collector.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, that way we know to use those powers since they were face-up before we ended. And then flip the other ones face-up. That's very sad. That's better. That helps a little. Another 0. And a 3. So then score is going to be pretty simple here. In this case, I'm going to add up all my points. So I've got, look, 1 plus 13 is 14, plus 5 is 19, plus 9 is, what, 28, it looks 28. Like. Yeah.
And
so
I have
for me. And
16, 19 divided by 2.
You don't have to write it down, Nikki. There's no reason to write it down and make it official.
It's official. Right. Steph wins.
Yeah. So then yours, you add up all of your points except for the divided by 2, because when it's face up, you just use its function there. So you would have 3 plus 12 is 15, plus the 4 is 19, but you have -4 because of my cards there. So that's 15. And then the halfling divides it by 2. So that would be 8 because it's rounded up to 8. But because I called for a vote, I'm going to get an additional 10 points. So I'm going to have 39 points, and you're going to have whatever, the 8 points.
Yeah, you should have called for a vote.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I feel like I was pressured into calling. I don't know.
I would have called if I could have, but I didn't. I couldn't. So
if I had one, if I had the lowest amount, I would also get to use the ability of that little dagger that's on the table to be able to change direction at some point. In this case, the dagger would just let me skip your turn once I decide. I'm like, after maybe I discarded a really good card accidentally, and then I could skip your turn and pick it up by using it.
Well, these games are excellent, Ted. We can get this today. We can get Silver Dagger today.
Silver Dagger you can order. It'll be out, I believe, beginning of, well, you know what? I don't know the exact date. I should check that first, but soon, within a couple weeks, I think. So
be on the lookout.
But all the other silvers are available now.
I love that art. I just wanted to throw that in there. I love the cover. It's amazing. I love that little dude. He's so cute.
Yeah.
But thank you for your time and showing us this quick demo and you know, being, you know, loser to me.
Anytime I can lose a game to you, Steph. Really.
Yay! Always my pleasure. Have a great day.
The last time I lost a game to you, you beat me at like Whistle Stop or something. You crushed me. It was horrible. It was, I mean,
it was amazing fun.
I think there was therapy after that. It was rough. All right.
Oh, always so much fun, Ted. Thank you.